Are those of us who call ourselves realtors in a profession, or are we simply hucksters, which are people who sell for a living? This question's been around for a very long time, but there might be something coming just over the horizon that may change all that. This, of course, reminds me of an old Dilbert cartoon where, after a sales meeting, when new production standards are addressed, he goes home and complains to his dog that he's going to have to work harder to be mediocre. For those of you who don't want to be mediocre, here's what's over the hill. At last week's convention in Orlando, there was an interesting undercurrent about adding standards to being a realtor. These standards are taking a variety of directions, but initially are for those interested in participating in the association's leadership at the national level. The only impact this would have is making it more difficult to acquire emeritus status, which has, along with it, the waiver of local, state, and national dues. However, once added to national standards regarding participation, they may drift down to state and eventually local requirements for leadership. Another discussion is about adding, in addition to code of ethics every 3 years, a requirement to take fair housing training every 3 years as a condition of realtor membership. This is only in a discussion phase, but the idea seems to be attracting supporters. The bottom line, it appears the ability to become a realtor is going to extend beyond having breath or pulse, of which only one is necessary. By the way, installation of Kenny Purcell as our 115th national president was one of the best I've attended. He is an exceptional individual, an example of which was when he announced he had gone into Ukraine to visit with Ukrainian realtors. Several realtors from Ukraine, after getting permission from their government to leave the country, were at the event. We're fortunate to have him as our leader in 2023. One additional note, Dr. Lawrence Yun spoke very specifically about the unusually high spread between the Fed funds rate, the 10-year bond, and mortgage interest rates. He observed that traditionally rates compared to where the 10-year is now would be at 5.75%. Dr. Yun is scheduling meetings with regulators to discuss this. We will see if they listen to him. It is also important to note that at one of my committee meetings, a presentation from NAR Research indicated that in Southeast Michigan, 28% of all renters can afford and are qualified to buy a home. More generally, NAR Research indicated that prices nationally are remaining firm and that the last inflation report may signal an end to significant rate hikes by the Fed. As for local conditions, I'll go over them shortly, but want to share that we're watching an interesting trend in seasonality, which is the percentage of homes sold each year by month. Depending on which model you use, the current trend in sales, although down year over year when looking at the broader data, the current percentage per month may not be as significant as reported. This is because for the last 3 years versus the previous 7, more homes were sold in the second half of the year than in the first, meaning current seasonality in year over year may not be as accurate as we would like. We will revisit this after the first of the year. As for where we are right now, sales year over year are down 29.3%, which is never good news. However, the absorption rate, which is what supports the equity in homes across our 4 counties, is at 28.5%. So as painful as it may feel to home buyers to buy now, it's only going to be more painful next year, regardless of what interest rates do. Switching to something other than boring numbers, next week is Thanksgiving. I want to wish all of you a wonderful day. Shortly after that is our last happy hour of the year at Cellar 59, located at Partridge Creek in Clinton Township. The following week is our annual installation reception on the 7th at the Grosse Pointe Yacht Club. Tickets are now available. That pretty much wraps up the year. Stuff will start right after the first of the year, though, so get ready. See you again next week. Until then, be productive, successful, and profitable, and as always, be safe.